Shalom, Call Halayim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity and with charity. My name is Micah Allah Bungad Banyashala. I'm a I'm with the Watchman Philadelphia camp, you know, and I just been reading this book, man. It came across me. There's a section in it called Prophets and Scribes, man. You know, and it gives you a little bit of history, but they go off a little bit, and I'll break things down as I go along. But it's just letting you know, man, the same thing that happened back in the ancient times, you know, is happening right now when the people not listening. So these people are reincarnated back into their same souls back then. Just like it says, the prophets are subject to the spirit of the prophets are subject to the spirits of the prophets. So if you was a prophet back then, you're gonna be a prophet now. You know. Without further ado, I'm just hop right into it, man. All right, this book I've been reading, the Bible. You know, the Bible of history. All right. The section says prophets and scribes. It says in the early days of their history, the Israelites had no king. All right, so it's recognizing us as Israelites, but they're not going to tell you, you know, what they look like and all that. You just, we know we Israelites. Okay, we know that we Israelites. So it says, in the early days of their history, the Israelites had no king, or rather, Yahweh Bashim Shah Power was their king, and he kept in touch with his people through prophets, men, and say women. We notice the men of the Lord that was out there on the highways and byways, man. It says men who spoke for him. Then were probably thousands of Israelite prophets. So like it says, there were probably thousands of Israelite prophets, but only a small number, of them are known today. So yeah, man. So just like you got certain prophets that was back there, like Jeremiah, Isaiah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Baruch, Isaiah, um, Samuel, John the Baptist, all these different prophets, man, that their names, which are here right now in Babylon, man. All of the prophets. And also you had the 70, all right? You had those 70, which, you don't nobody know their name, man. To this day, because all it said was Yahweh Shah went to the 70, man. Okay? So it says there were probably thousands of Israelite prophets, but only a small number of them are known today. It says in the 200 years or so after the Israelites settled in the Promised Land, prophets advised the judges who ruled the land, or even like Deborah, ruled as judges themselves. The land, the last judge prophet was Samuel, and Samuel, who under the Most High's guidance chose and anointed Israel's first two kings, Saul and David. So check this out. Even back then, they had the house of Saul, house of David. So and you could tell the difference because the house of Saul they went off, man. The house of Saul didn't trust completely in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. That's why he went into to that went and dealt with a familiar spirit to see if he was going to talk to Samuel again, But you look at King David. Guess what? He was after Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's own heart, man, after his own mind. All right. It says and that's why they split back then. You have a split now. Okay. It says but even in the days of the kings, prophets wielded powers, advising the people and their leaders and at times even boldly confronting kings who discarded the Most High's will. All right, stories of these prophets are found in the books of Samuel and Kings. Samuel and Kings were bits and pieces of their prophecies, as recorded. The words of the latter prophets, the so-called writing prophets, are recorded in the biblical books that bear their names. All right. So even back then, man, just like right now today, man, All right, that's why I might name this prophets and scribes, man, or just prophets. You know, because we are the prophets reincarnated back reincarnated today, coming out here on the highways and byways, and the real prophets, the true prophets. That's how you had the house of Saul and the house of David. But the real prophets of Yahweh Bashim Shai, they gonna wholeheartedly trust and believe in His word, man. They ain't gonna waver. They ain't gonna take breaks. You know, they gonna take all the persecution they gotta take. Why? So prophecy can be fulfilled, and the word comes out, man. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. All right, that's it. All right, it says, it goes on to say, it says the writing prophets. It says the earliest writing prophets were Hosea and Amos, who called for religious and social reforms in the northern kingdom of Israel. The land of the Israelites had split in two kingdoms after the death of Solomon. So there you go. The northern and southern kingdom split after the death of Solomon. So now you see this a split. So that's why dudes always talking about in Israel, talking about, oh, why everybody can't come together. Because right now, brothers, the only way we gonna come together is in the kingdom, man. And you got dudes out there speaking different doctrines, man. They're not all agreed. So like the scripture says, it says less two. It says less two can be agreed. How can they walk together, man? Roughly paraphrased. Now I'm gonna jack it up. Unless two be agreed, they can't walk together. So we don't agree with other guys, man, because they go off. Look at the house of Saul. You know, it says Israel's third king, Hosea. I said Israel's third king. The death of Solomon, Israel's third king. It says Hosea and Amos assured the people that Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah will protect them if they turn back to Him and stop worshiping idols and start to care for the needy. In addition, the prophet, see that. So that's what we telling you to do now, man. Not care. Well, yeah, you care for the needy. How you care for the needy, man? Hitting the highways and byways, man. Speaking, because right now, who are the needy? The needy are the Israelites. All these other nations are not in need, man, and not in wanting anything, especially Esau. Why? Because this is his kingdom, man. But even they're not in need for a savior, man. Esau is not in need for a savior, man. All right, I'm gonna read that part one more time. It says Hosea and Amos assured the people that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua will protect them if they turn back to Him. So that's what we do right now, man. That's what we do right now. We hit the highways and byways, man. Tell you, turn back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Turn back to your heritage, you know, because in that is salvation, man, and that is life. So if you don't do those things, guess what? You're gonna be destroyed right with this place, man. You're gonna be destroyed with this place, man. Um. Okay. It says, yeah. Stop worshiping idols. Our people are heavy idol worshippers, man. The real heavy idol worshippers. All right. It says, and start to care for the needy. It says, in addition, the prophets Micah and Isaiah condemned the injustices and the idolatry they found. Salaki, they found in both Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. All right, that's the same thing we're doing. The great prophet Isaiah also warned that the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shah, would send the Assyrians to invade Israel as punishment for the sins of the people. All these prophets were unheeded, and as prophets and Salaki, and as Isaiah had foreseen, the Assyrians obliterated the northern kingdom of Israel after 721 BC. It no longer existed, man. So you see that right there, man? You see that right there? So that's when you're supposed to prophesy to the wind, man. You're supposed to go out there whether they hear or whether they forbear it, man. Because you see, even in the times of Noah, man, guess what? They was marrying, giving them marriage and all that. So they ain't take heed to Noah's warnings, man. The same way they ain't take heed to Micah, Isaiah, Hosea, Amos. They ain't take heed to none of them. And guess what? All those prophets are right back here, right now. You know, on top of the 70 and all the other prophets that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has out here prophesying the downfall of this place, man. The downfall of this wicked queendom and this kingdom, man. You know, it says Salak. It says Salak. It says later prophets turn. It says later prophets turn their attention to the surviving kingdom. Matter of fact, let me go back. So the Assyrians obliterated the northern kingdom of Israel after 721 BC. It no longer existed, man. So that's when they said, "Let us go cut them off from being a nation, man." You know, that's in the book of Psalms. I can't get the scripture right off here, but I know it's in the book of Psalms. You know, it says, "Let us cut them off from being a nation, so that the name of Israel will no longer be in remembrance." You know. Let me look that up real fast. Yeah, Satan fucking with me. Because that heat about to come out. You know? Every time the heat about to come out, Satan want to mess with you. Alright, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and 4. It says, "They have said, 'Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be no Salak, it may no more in remembrance." You know? So they did that back then, they trying to do it now. Well, the name of Israel right now, as far as we know, not as far as we know, but as you can see, our people don't believe that they're Israelites, man. All right. It says, later prophets turned their attention to the surviving kingdom of Judah, generally begging the people to remember Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, follow his word, follow his word. Same thing we doing right now. There's nothing new under the sun, man. There's nothing new under the sun. So that's the same thing that we doing, man. All right. It says, they included Zephaniah, Nahum, Habakkuk, and the unstoppable Jeremiah, who advised Judah's last five kings. It says in 597 BC, after the first of the two invasions of Jerusalem, the Babylonians brought home 8,000 captives, including Ezekiel. From exile, Ezekiel prophesied the destruction of Jerusalem's temple, but his people ignored him until the temple did fall during the second Babylonian invasion of Jerusalem in 586 BC. From then until his death, Ezekiel preached hope, assuring his people that he should resurrect Israel like a pile of dry bones coming back to life. So, man, first a couple precepts that I want to get for right there, man. Okay. Now the first precept is Psalms 110 and 3, man. All right, because your people, you can be out there constantly prophesying, telling them, that America's destruction is coming. They don't want to believe you. And once they start seeing things, man, then all of a sudden they believe, man. You know, once they see if the Lord is dealing with you, you got that power. Then they're going to be willing to listen. Then they're going to be willing to take heed and yeah, basically listen, man. Follow out to what you say. They're going to be submissive, man. Like these women, they'll be submissive. That's why I say 7 women shall take hold of one man. And that day is not right now, man. But this is the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and 3. It says, "Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth," man. So they're gonna be willing in the day of thy power, man. You know? They're gonna be willing in the day of thy power. Once they start seeing these things happen and they know that Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is working with you, man, then they're gonna be willing to listen. But guess what? It might be too late for him. You know, it might very well just be too late for him. All right. So you keep going on, man. Let me find my spot. Oh, so all right, talking about the dry bones bringing back to life. It says in 539, Babylonia was conquered by Cyrus the Great of Persia, who allowed the Israelites to return to Jerusalem to rebuild it. But let's get the whole thing of the dry bones, man. All right, which is Ezekiel 1 chapter 37, 1 through 4. And this right here is talking about us right here, man. Talking about the brothers right here in America, wherever the Lord spread you at, on all four corners of the earth. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 1. It says, "The hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones." So the midst of a valley. So that's in the middle of a low place, man. A low land. And guess where our people are right now, wherever the Lord driven you. You in a low land, you in a low estate. But America is the ultimate low land, man. As far as morals, values, anything like that. America has no values whatsoever, man. All right? And it forces its philosophies and everything on other places. All right, it says in verse 2 says, "And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there was very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry." So they that's like if you got a body and you dehydrated, man, and your face starts to sucking like you was smoking crack for a long time, man. You know, that's how them bones look. They was dry. They ain't had no life, man. That's how we were, man. When we was out in this world, man, abusing ourselves, man. You know, even if you was working out, you was abusing yourself mentally, man, and spiritually, man. You know, till Yahweh Bashim outside to wake you up, man. And watch this. It says, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Yahweh Bashim outside power, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And guess what, man? When you had Abba Bivens, man, was one of the first elders or apostle elder to bring out this truth right here. You know, and he taught a couple men, and now look what happened, man. So he was an example of that, man. Prophesying to these dry bones, because I'm pretty sure. Well, I know when the men that he taught, they didn't know that they was Israelites, man. You know, so he had to prophesy to them and tell them, and then they were woken up like the dry bones, and then trickling all the way down, all the way to the lowest man, or whatever the case may be, to that 144th man. You know, we had to be, well, I don't see, you had to be woken up. You had to be woken up to this truth, man, because we don't know who the elect are, man. And I'm gonna just keep it that real. We don't know who the elect are. You can hope that you're one of the elect, but until you want to chariot, you're not gonna be sure if you're the elect. When you sitting on that chariot looking down at the destruction of America, then you know that you were chosen, man. All right. But yeah, like it says, many are called, few are chosen, man. Okay. But it says it says from then until his death, Ezekiel preached hope, reassuring the people that the Most High would resurrect Israel like a pile of dry bones coming back to the light. All right. So I'm gonna go to Revelations 2 and 10, because Ezekiel prophesied to death, man. To death, and a lot of prophets did that, man. Not just Ezekiel, but I'm gonna read this right here, because we back reincarnated. The prophets are back reincarnated right now. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." All right. Because as a prophet, you're gonna suffer a lot of things, man. You know, and even coming up now until the time of Jacob's trouble when they gonna force that mark of the beast on you and all that, man. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you in the prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days." So look, even back then in the ancient times, the prophets was thrown in the prison. You had Peter, John the Baptist, man, all that, prophets like that, Jeremiah, man. I believe Isaiah, Daniel in the lions, den, man. You know, so these dudes were thrown into prisons or like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Guess what? They were thrown into a fiery furnace, man. So you think that those prophets aren't back right now, reincarnated? And guess what? We gotta still go through this, go through some trials and tribulations here, man. You know, it says in the prison that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. So 10 days is not just regular 10 days. That's for a time period. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, man. So you got to be faithful unto death in this thing, man. And look, that's an example right there. It says Ezekiel preached hope, assuring. It says from then. Matter of fact, let me go back. Let me jump up. All right, it says from exile, Ezekiel prophesied the destruction of Jerusalem's temple, but his people ignored him until the temple did fall. The same way we do now. People are going to ignore us until they see them chariots up into the sky, and the ICBM missiles coming in. Then it's going to be too late, man. You know, uh, uh, they're not going to believe until these Gurga troops is kicking in your door, and we've been telling you about this, man, all along, man. You know. It says, him until the temple did fall during the second Babylonian invasion of Jerusalem in 586 BC. It says, from then until his death, so he was faithful unto death. Ezekiel preached hope, reassuring his people that the Most High will resurrect Israel like a pile of dry bones back to life. In 539, Babylonia was conquered by Cyrus the Great of Persia, who allowed the Israelites to return to Jerusalem to rebuild it. It says, setting it down. It says, generally prophets delivered their prophecies spontaneously, perhaps accompanied by music and dancing, but their words were later written down in highly structured poetic form. And no one knows whom the prophets themselves may have later written down the polished and Salaki written down and polished their own pronouncements. But in many cases, it is believed disciples of the prophets wrote down their teachers' words for later study and teaching. All right. It says often these disciples edited the texts to fit new circumstances, and in certain cases probably even added to the prophecies. Now see that they going off right there. It said the book of Isaiah suggests this process as Salaki. I'm gonna stop right there. It says often these disciples edited the text to fit new circumstances, and in and in certain cases probably even added to the prophecies. Now I told you not to add on that you're not supposed to add on to the prophecies, man. Add on to the scriptures. You're not supposed to add on to the scriptures. So if the man if Yahweh Ba'ashem is Yahweh Shah is a man that he will not lie, damn, singing fuck with my throat, man. This is crazy. But if Yahweh Ba'ashem is Yahweh Shah is a man that he will not lie, right? Then these men that were inspired by Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah didn't add on to what they heard, man. All right, so that's that. There goes Satan again, trying to trip people up, man. Because they don't want, and you want to know why they said they added on to the scriptures and added on things? Why? Because they know that their destruction is coming, man. Edomite, 9 times out of 10 wrote these things in this book, but they got to tell the truth though, So you got the truth in it, and that's what I'm bringing out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim outside, man. You know, to let the prophets know your labor is not in vain, man. Your labor is not in vain, man. All right, the same thing that you're going through, the ancient prophets went through, and you the men reincarnated all over again, man. To the sincere Rockian. Not you dudes that's just out there just to be out there co-signing and sidelining, man. Like if you was playing a basketball game, you the star on the court and everything. You got help. That's why I talk about helps, and you got sincere help around you, and the game's going. But then you got niggas on the bench, and they oh man, what's this nigga mess up? I hate this nigga, man. I can't wait for him to get fouled and injured. So you be out there. You got niggas like that in the truth, man. You got niggas like that in the truth. You know? But real fast it says this is the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 and 20. It says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation, right? It says, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of a man, but holy men of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, man. So yeah, there you got it right there. The Spirit moved them. That's like the Spirit quickeneth. The Spirit quickeneth, man. So when the Spirit moves you, you got to hop right on that thing, man. You got to hop right on it. It says often these disciples edited the text, so that's a lie, to fit new circumstances in certain cases, probably even added to the prophecies. That's a bunch of bullshit. The book of Isaiah suggests this process as its writings covered a period of some 200 years. Not only is this far too long a period for one man to have prophesied, but there are obvious differences in writing style that strongly suggest the work of 2 or even 3 writers. So yeah, we already know that. We already know that because you had when they translated the scriptures to the Greek, they called Hebrew speaking, Hebrew speaking Israelites to come translate that book to the Greek. So yeah, their writing styles are different, but guess what? Those are still the same words. And they said that's 200 years is too long of a time for one man to prophesy. Well, look at Noah, man. Look at Noah, man. He was out there 500 years prophesying, man. So that's how you know Esau is not a spiritual man. They don't believe this book, man. And they want everything in this book to be false, man. They want everything in this book to be false, man. Which is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense to us, the Israelites. Wanna know why? Because if I knew I was in rulership and I didn't want that to go down, I'm trying to see the people, I'm gonna tell them a bunch of lies too, man. As being a heathen, as being a heathen, that's what heathens do. All right, but it says all right, going down. It says not only is this far too long a period for one man to have prophesied, but there are obvious differences in writing styles that strongly suggest the work of 2 or even 3 writers. Only the prophecies in chapters 1 to 39 of the biblical book of Isaiah are believed to have been made by the historical prophet. It says prophetic works. It says prophetic works also Salakia. It says prophetic works were also preserved by scribes. This method of preservation is vividly described in chapters 36 of the book of Jeremiah. We read there that when King Jehoiakim of Judah forbade Jeremiah to enter the temple to proclaim his prophecies, the Most High, it says, the Most High told the prophet to write down all his words and have them read to the king. Jeremiah then dictated all his past prophecies to his scribe Baruch, who copied them down in a scroll. Baruch then went to the temple where he publicly publicly read Jeremiah's words. When officials of the king heard about this, they sent for Baruch, had him read the prophecies to them, then took the scroll from Baruch and told him to go into hiding along with Jeremiah. The officials then went to the royal palace and fearfully read the prophecies to the angry king, who promptly burned the scroll. But the prophecies were not lost. So check this out, man. He promptly burnt it, man. Why? Because he knew that was the truth, man. You know? and he knew it was the truth, but this the king, this the spirit the king was in, man. You know? Alright, he was in the spirit like this. This is the book of Isaiah. This the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Now you see that, man? They read the prophecies of Jeremiah that Baruch wrote down to the king, right? To the king. And they ain't want to hear it. He ain't want to hear that shit. Why? Because he knew that was coming at him, man, condemning that ass, man. It says, which say, verse 10 says, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. So they was doing the same thing back then. Prophesy not unto us right things, speaking to us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So that's why the king had those things burnt up, man. Because he didn't want to hear that harsh stuff like, yo, man, you know what? The kingdom is about to be destroyed, you know? You going to be out of power, you're going into captivity under these heathens, man. When you're in rulership, you don't want to hear you coming out of rulership, man. And especially for these heathens, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua took the lowest, the least of the heathen, which is Esau, and put him on high, man. So you think a man like that wants to come out of power, man? And then of course us, man, we don't want to come out of power, but it happened back then. So if the Lord is unchanging. So if he did it then, he going to do it now, man. All right. Continuing on, it says, but the prophecies were not lost. See that? They tried to burn them up, but the prophecies were not lost, man. So the Lord ain't no joke, man. Come on, man. It says, but the prophecies were not lost, for the Most High ordered Jeremiah to have the scroll rewritten, and Baruch again took down his master's words. So, like, you can't burn that. You can't burn Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's words, man. Whatever he say he gonna do it, man. No matter how you feel about it. All right. It says the new scroll probably formed the bias for the first 25 chapters of the book of Jeremiah. So probably. All right. It says in 582 BC, Jeremiah and Baruch were forced to take refuge in Egypt. There, Baruch continued as Jeremiah's secretary, writing down the prophets' pleas that the Israelites be faithful to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. While in exile, Baruch probably wrote most of the chapters 26 to 45 of the book of Jeremiah, according to a latter tradition. Baruch also wrote the book of Baruch, a work found in the Apocrypha. However, scholars now believe that the book of Baruch was written centuries after the scribe's death. All right. So real fast, I'm gonna hop into a couple scriptures before I close up. But this is a little bit about Baruch the scribe. That's why I'll probably name this prophets and scribes, because you got prophets out here, you got scribes, man. But the scribes is actual readers now. You know, the scribes are the actual readers. My camera about to die on me, man. All right, it says Baruch was born in Jerusalem to a prominent family of scribes. You see that? So he came from a family of scribes. And even though his brother Sariah, who was a minister in the king's court, could have secured him an important position, Baruch gave up court life, and dedicated himself to the thankfulness and often painful job of following the unpopular prophet Jeremiah throughout the turbulent final years of the fiery Jeremiah's career. Baruch faithfully acted as the prophet's secretary, refusing to desert him while he was in prison, helping him escape the murderous plots of rival court prophets, and even defying the king by reading Jeremiah's unwelcome prophecies in public. After the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC, Baruch went with Jeremiah a few miles north of the small town of Mizpah. When trouble erupted there, Jeremiah's supporters urged the prophet to flee with them to Egypt. When Jeremiah refused, the people accused Baruch of inciting the prophet against them in an attempt to get them all exiled to Babylon. And they forced both Jeremiah and Baruch to go with them to Egypt. While in Egypt, Baruch probably shaped much of the biblical book of Jeremiah. All right. So yeah, so that's just a little history, you know, on who Baruch was, and about the prophets and all that. But see, you had the prophets never backed down. They always did the work of Yahweh by Shemi outside, man. All right, and this is a part of the role of the prophets, even to this day, man. That's how you know you reincarnated back as the prophets. All right, this is the book of Second Ezra, cause you gotta profess the name, man. If you don't profess the name, man, you're not a prophet of Yahweh by Shemi outside. You're just a wicked ass nigga, man. Or like I said on the sideline, wanting vain glory, man. All right, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 44. It says, So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah. Now are they crowned and received palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai our power thou hast seen, man. So yo, that's what we do right now, man. It says that he blessed is him who've not seen but still believes, man. You know? So that's how you know that you're a real prophet, man. A true, sincere prophet, man. You know, you stand firmly for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. The same way that the prophets in the ancient time did, man. You know, you don't be all arrogant and cocky, man, because that's crazy to be an arrogant and cocky nigga and you in this truth, man. Look how humble that Yahweh Shai was, man. That should humble you alone, knowing that, man, we wouldn't even be here right now if he decided back then to do what he had to do because he was mad because these niggas was putting their hands on him and all that to put him to death, man. Niggas is crazy, man. Thinking that you some big hot shot, you know? And you see that, and you see what I was just reading. It was called the prophets. So check this out, man. You got the prophets back then, man. They prophesied against great kingdoms and all that, right? So this is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. And this applies to us right now, too, man. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence, man. That is, are not we out there doing that right now on the highways and byways, man? Did not I just read that in this article, and that's how you know that these devils, they know that this Bible is true, man. They know that this Bible is real. All right? And everything, so Salak, it says, what was written aforetime was written for our understanding, man, our learning. All right? For our learning, man. That's why we gotta do what we gotta do. I'm trying not I'm about 40 minutes in right now. Uh, I'm trying to wrap this up real fast. But I gotta let the spirit do what he gotta do, man. You know? Um, exact matter of fact, here we go. Right here, man. This is I think I read that. But I'll read it again, man, because this is Romans chapter 3, verse 3, man. You know? Because you got a lot of dudes out there that don't believe this. And that don't even matter if you don't believe it, man. It don't matter. I'm giving you proof that even back then the prophets suffered the same thing that we out here suffering now. So this is more encouraging words for the Achaean, man, that really believe. Because I know sometimes, man, you get down, depressed, you feel unworthy, man. But at the end of the day, we all our righteousness is as a filthy rag, man. You know? That's why you gotta stay humble, man. Can't stress that enough. Stay humble. You know? Dudes always want to make a name for themselves. We ain't out here to make a name for ourselves because we nobody. Y'all by Shem Shah don't even need us, man. He said he could make a rock worshiper, man. So who the hell do you think you are, man? And you claim you dudes want to claim to be prophets and all hardy spirits and all that. But it says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true. You hear that? Let the Most High be true. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua be true. But every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged, man. So if you justified in your sayings, where are your sayings coming from? Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, man. You know, so you can overcome when you are judged, man. Because you're going to have a lot of people trying to cast judgment on you, man. Yo, that nigga don't know what he talking about. He just talking shit. Who the fuck does he think he is? He used to be out here doing this and this and that. Mad, why? Because the Lord ain't get him that knowledge, man. Mad, why? Because the Lord ain't chose him to be a prophet, man. And mad because they don't understand the things that you understand. So if they don't understand it, you know, what's that? The old saying, they say people fear what they don't understand, you know? And that's what these people do. They fear what they don't understand. So since they don't want to show that they're scared, you know, they want to buck up against it and talk shit. But guess what? They gonna be judged for that, man. You know? And with that, you know, you gotta you gotta endure those things when people start talking shit and all that and coming at you. So if we soldiers for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. We soldiers in the army of the Lord, man. You know? So what soldiers do, they endure hardness, man. You know? Go through the elements. You know? Because when you're in war, man, you don't know what type of weather, you know what I'm saying, you're going to encounter out there, man. Alright? You don't know what kind of weather you're going to encounter out there. It could be storming. It could be hot one day. It could be cold. You know? And all everything, man. So this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2, starting at verse 3. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. Verse 4. No man that warreth and entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. Alright? I'm going to read that one more time. It says, verse 4 says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. All right, so you ain't supposed to be worried about the things of this life, man. Just petty bickering beef. Because a brother out there laboring, you jealous because that the Most High put him in a position that you wanted. So what you want to do? Try to tear that brother down, man. I'm going a little bit off topic, but I'm still on topic. Just proving to you this what prophets have to do. They have to endure these things, man. They have to. As being a good soldier. It says no man that worreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, man. So that's something of this life, because you mad. It says that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. All right. So only person you owe explanation to in this life is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right. You give your double honors and your double respects to all the Akim. You give your double honors to the apostles and elders, man. A great millstone. All right. But all this other petty dumb shit, man, concern yourself with it. We only here to please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. It says, let the whole matter, let's hear the whole matter. What's the whole duty of man? To serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. As an Israelite, that's your whole duty, man. Is to serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Alright? Verse 5 says, and if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully, man. So yeah, you're gonna be crowned for the prophets out here that's sincerely doing this thing. Because you got a lot of frauds out here. A lot of frauds in Israel, man. You just gotta say it straight like that, man. Just how it is, man. Don't water nothing down, man. This shit straight without no chaser, man. You got a lot of frauds in Israel that claim to be prophets. Like I said, you got the house of Saul, you got the house of David. Which house are you in, man? And I'm gonna tell you this: the house of David is the house that the Lord is dealing with right now, man. All right, it says this: the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 16. It says, "He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me. And he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me, man." So when we out there on the highways and byways, man, and even amongst Israel, man, because you're gonna have people amongst Israel that hate you, man. Why? Because the Lord is dealing with you. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is dealing with you, and they wish that the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was dealing with them, man. All the ancient prophets went through it, and if we reincarnated right back in the men as the men, guess what? We going through it again. We going through it again. And that's why these words are comforting. So when you come up against these things, you like, you know what? Of course you're gonna get mad at first and hype, but then once you come up against these things, you got these scriptures. You like, you know what, man? All right, this nigga tripping, man. You don't gotta be arrogant about it, like he want my spot and all that. No, you don't do that. You just be like, man, I know where I stand with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man, and keep it pushing. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Keep pushing that sound doctrine. All right, keep pushing that sound doctrine. That's what you're supposed to do, man. All right, and that's a banger right there, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it again. It says, "He that heareth you heareth me." So the only people we supposed to be out there for is for the elect, man. That lost sheep of the house of Israel, man. That's it. Cause they gonna hear you. So if they hearing you, they hearing Yahweh Shah. And if they hearing Yahweh Shah, they hearing Yahweh, man. But if they don't hear you, I read it. It says, "And he that despiseth you despiseth me." So whoever despises us, despises Yahweh Shai. And he that despises me despises the one that sent me. So the one that sent Yahweh Shai was Yahweh. So them niggas out there hating and doing all that bullshit, guess what, man? They hate the Lord, man. They don't hate us, man. You know? I'm gonna bring out two more precepts, man. I'm gonna wrap it up because it's almost been an hour. As a matter of fact, it don't matter how long when it comes to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. All right. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, Salakia, chapter 6, verse 9. Spirit in here, man. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, these they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. Then said I, Yahweh Shema Shah, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitants, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, man. So, yo, that's even right now in America, man. That's how long these niggas is going to be blind and dumb, man. You know? They got ears, but they can't hear the words of Yahweh Bashim outside. They got eyes, but they can't see anything that's going on around them, man. Because they so busy chasing the bitch, man. They so busy trying to get high. They so busy into sports. They so busy into their television shows or whatever the case may be. It ain't about Yahweh Bashim outside, man. You know? But we out there telling you about these things, and they like, yeah, you know what? Man, fuck that nigga, man. That's just Mike Allah, man. Who's that nigga? You know, till these prophecies start rolling, and then they like, oh shit. You know what? Damn. Now we sit in the concentration camp. Yo, the brother Mike Allah, he was talking about that years ago. All the apostles and the elders, they were talking about that. All the other Akim, they were talking about that. You know? And guess what? The apostles and the elders, they got peers too, man. You know? They got peers too. So amongst your peers, you're gonna be hated, man. You know, you came up with your peers. You know? But this is the book of Ezekiel. I'm gonna end it on this. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2, verse 4. It says, for they are imprudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them. And thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them, man. So you see that, man? You see that right there? I'm gonna read it one more time, man, because that is like yapa, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 2 and 4. It says, for they are imprudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So that's what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua doing right now. He sent us out, man. He sent us forth, you know. He sent us out here to talk to our people. And he know that they stiff-hearted, stiff-necked people, that they don't want to hear it, they ain't going to get it. Why is he doing that? The try you'll do as gold is trying to fire to get you prepared to rule, man. You think you just gonna be a ruler and you don't go through nothing, man? All right. Verse 5, man, says, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, man. So our people are a rebellious house. Yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them, man. So like I said, once you sitting in them concentration camps, looking all crazy, dumb, like, yo, what's going on? Oh, damn. You know what? Them Israelites, man, they was telling us the truth all along. But you ain't just going to think about any Israelite, man. You're going to think about that Israelite that was telling you the 100% unadulterated truth, man. Unadulterated truth, man. All right? So guess what? So what? Now the prophets, they're going to start being brought forth. Who's a real prophet and who's a bullshitter, man? Who's a real prophet and who's a bullshitter? And with that, man, I hope that you Akim, while Akwathium that watch my page, I hope that you were edified, man. You know? And just man, just stay humble, stay aware, man. You know? And for you brothers that go out there that watch me, keep continuing the faith, stay valiant, man. You know? Because we almost home, man. America's destruction is at hand. And with that, shalom.